the people into the company, hopefully by the end of the year. 6 must come from burning community. So what that has done is that they don't just see it as an us versus them. They actually see this as part of this. We are part of this, and they are part of us. That definitely would also get challenged as the community becomes more accessible, and we've recognized that. So we've sat down with the local government. We're also having discussions with the traditional institution, and we've set up different teams that are dimensioning what could be the risk and implication of this sudden opening up that is happening in Bonny. From a security point of view, what will be the implication? Because it's a place that has constant power supply, people will likely move there, set up industries there, and then transport it out because there is no barrier to mobility any longer. But what does that do to the power that is currently born? So all of that we're looking at, and I feel we've come to a couple of conclusions. One of it is that we would need a different or an assisted model for the power generation because we are limited in what we can give. And a community that has been used to getting 24/7 electricity, if they don't get it again, it can become an irritation when you start saying. So we've started looking at all of that and what we can do in order to manage that. We recognize it and we're already working at that very much. On the gas supply, it's what we have wrestled with, and we've wrestled with it on how do we secure enough gas to be able to run our plant. Traditionally, there are 3 gas suppliers we have had, and those gas suppliers were affiliates of our shareholders. It was Shell, it was Total, and it was Ajib, affiliate of ENI. ENI has divested from Ajib now. Shell has divested from SPDC. If I think today we have close to 70-75% of our gas supply that is now coming from outside of the affiliates of our shareholders. While we're working with them to ensure that they also have reliability and uptime, we've expanded the scope and we're now having gas sales agreement with third-party suppliers. So last year, there were 6 of them that we signed agreement with that will be supplying gas to us outside of these 3. And our intention is to be able to get to the point where we have between 110, 115% capacity of what the plant needs to be able to accommodate for when there is an upset that one has to go out. We know that we are not starved and we continue to work that train. There are a few others right now that we haven't signed any gas sales agreement with, but we're in discussions with them. How can we enable them to flow their gas to us? And what will it take for them to prefer Nlng above other options that they have? So we're actively working that. For Trade 7, Trade 7 came with dedicated gas supply opportunities that were identified upstream. In fact, it's a condition precedent. If you don't have line of sight to gas, you won't take final investment decisions. So we already have projects identified that will keep Trade 7 full. And it's also one of the conditions that our shareholders have given us, that don't come and talk about Trade 8 if you cannot demonstrate where that gas is going to come from. So the team that we have set up is already looking at where do we get that gas from. Having done all of that, which is to improve our robustness, if we still fall into a situation where we're gas insufficient, then we might need to rethink our model. I'm not suggesting that's what we do, but we might need to rethink it. I mean, similar to what Dangote Refinery is experiencing. That says, I have my refinery here, but I'm not getting the crude oil, and he's having to go outside to go and buy his own crude oil. He might get to a point that he might say, I want vertical integration. I run a field, I produce my oil so that it can supply my refinery. We're not yet at that stage, but it's also an option that is on the table. You talked about when Qatar exited OPEC.